we'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters.
What's going on, everybody? It's well, I'd like to say it's a new day, but we were filming something else this morning. Changed my shirt. Sorry, it's an awful looking shirt. I actually thought I wasn't gonna film, and then you know, there's so much work to get done, I might as well just come out here and get to it. It is hot as can be, but I just hung all these 4x4s the other day with Kagan's help, and some of them are fresh 2x4s. I'm not as worried about the ones that I'm reusing from the other property, because if they sagged, I hung them upside down, so if anything, they're arching a little bit. I guess you would call that frowning when they have that shape, or smiling when they have that shape. What I'm afraid of is the new boards like this, sitting there drying, getting wet, and then drying in this hot sun, and it's starting to smile. And what it will do is it can actually take such a bad shape and sag so far that the screen is not going to be able to reach it. So by getting the screen on it now, we'll lock some of these boards in place and stop them from moving too much. So I would like to measure, cut, and hang the screen to finish this wall, this wall, this wall, this wall, and while I'm doing it, somehow or another I forgot to do this 60-inch, maybe it's 62 inches, these two panels right here. Be nice just to get them up. And this one we passed up when we ran out of material when we did the play area. So I'd like to take this down. We put very minimal staples in there. Nip those staples off, take this screen off, hang the proper screen there, and then hang it back up. It would only make everything up there safer. It's actually, you want to see something funny? Tomorrow I have an appointment with my attorney because we've got to defend myself in court. The ex-wife is trying to say that by Kagan living here, that there is another supporting income here, and she can stop paying, which she's already stopped paying, the marital support. And one of the questions on the questionnaire, which really angers me, is that I spent marital support money to build an area for her animals. As you guys all know, this is not an area for those animals at all. This is the play area for the monitor lizards. This has always been part of the plan. In fact, if these chickens go in an enclosure over here, that's also always been part of the plan. So am I going to court over $36 in chickens? Am I spending thousands of dollars on an attorney over $36? That's how stupid these things are. When people get petty, it gets really, really silly. But I'm gonna use that frustration, overcome this heat, and get some work done. All right, this one was pre-cut. This was the last of the long screens from the other property. So this one was easy to hang. It already had the notch cut out for the 2x4, although it was slightly to that side. I don't know, whatever number I chose at the other house was slightly different than over here. And it does have this wire that doesn't continue there. Would be a problem if it was an exterior screen, but this is only a separation between a male and a female. So Kagan jumped in, she started cutting screen for me. She got this one cut for me, and I've hung this one. She's got that one cut, that one there. These two were cut from scraps, and she's about to pull the trim off over here and start pulling the staples. And like I was telling her, I shot the staples in very light on this screen, so should be able to see one-handed force the nips of the pliers in there. Sometimes they're going to cut, sometimes they're going to pull out. then I would put those somewhere safely where the chickens don't eat them, because they probably will. So I believe she's going to take all the staples out, but leave one staple on either side. That way I can come take that staple off and we can roll this up to that side and then get the last staple. So we may reuse this for patching some of our existing screens, so we may want longer pieces, and we may need to use it for temporary gates once we build the fence that runs and crosses this yard. Like we have the chickens and the turkeys, they're walking around our property. We don't necessarily want them on that side of our property. We would like to keep them to this back triangle. It'll be much easier to keep track of them. So once we hang that fence, we're probably going to need some temporary gates till we can afford to buy gates. So I'm going to let her get this done, and I'm going to go back to hanging some of that screen. Okay, I have another panel done, so that's 3 of them, and I'm about to do this panel, which is an external panel, meaning it's not a panel between 2 enclosures. And the panels between enclosures, I put a staple every 2 inches. So I don't put trim over this screen. The screen is standing for itself. Obviously we'll have to monitor staples, but the only animals, I'm sorry, there are love bugs everywhere, and they just keep landing on me and crawling on me, and then I think it's something else. But this is an external panel, and it will get trim over it. So I already had to remove the trim that had covered this screen. That's for the end of row 2. And well, at some point this must have sat without trim, because it has a staple every 2 inches. And so we probably put extra staples in it, because it's probably sat with an animal in it a couple days without the trim. But I'll only have to do a staple every 4 inches on these panels. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this one hung, and this is a really good feeling hang, because it means that the screen is gonna be done all the way to the end of this row, minus the 2-foot ones, which we're gonna do in just a moment. Okay, Kagan went ahead of me and started cutting all the 2-foot screens. So now I have it all hung. Now it looks very wavy on the bottom, but remember those corral boards come all the way up to here. So you don't see a lot of that board, and then it gets screwed from the backside with the screw and washer system. So we have all those done. We finished that one up front, all the way up there, and these 2 right here. So we didn't even plan on doing this today. In fact, when I walked back outside with the camera, you said,
"What are you filming?
What are you filming?" Like, we were done filming for the day, but just got to get stuff done. So this is the last panel. This is the end panel, and then I could put up that piece of trim. Obviously I'll have other trim to do later, but that will allow me to go inside, start doing the hide box slabs, the shelving, the doors, and quickly get these turned. We already have this door built. Quickly get these turned into enclosures, because we're ready to get stuff out of the garage. I'm ready to get those Arguses back. I'm ready to get past this construction. I may not have any other choice. So in the coming weeks, we're gonna have to hurry up and dig all this out, race through this concrete, and the same procedure we did over there, we are gonna race through these enclosures. We have been running ragged, waking up in the morning, slow, looking at each other like, you got enough to go to the gym? Like, and that's not me, and that's not you. Usually you jump and are ready to go at it. But sometimes in life you just gotta put in the work. So So I'm gonna hang this last screen and I can keep going off on my rant. She's gonna hold the camera for me. Ugh. I am ready for, well, I'm ready for dinner, but I'm also ready for a cold beer.
You know, there have been a couple of people that have said, man, Jerry really needs to do a podcast where he just talks about things that he's really passionate about. But you get so into it sometimes.
I don't know if I would want to, you know. I believe that a lot of your beliefs are your beliefs and not to be shared. Like, I don't need to tell everyone how I feel about everything. If I'm complaining about stuff going on in my personal life, I kept that stuff private for a very long time, but trying to make sure that it grabs that bottom board good, which it doesn't really. I need it to halfway hit that screw. See how it's barely grabbing that bottom board?
Mm-hmm.
This was already frowning quite a bit. I guess I started a little high on this side. Now we just go through and kind of tack a couple spots. Make sure that the end is stretched. My fingers are always so tired after doing screen from trying to stretch it.
I have a new blister from working those shears so much.
Oh, man. Hopefully it's not on one of your fishing fingers.
Push past the pain. One of those fish flipped my thumbnail back. Made it feel pretty good.
That was the pompano
That
I dropped back into the water.
Yeah.
Did we say that in this video?
I think
or was it the last
that was
video?
the feeding one.
Oh, Lord.
It's okay, you can remind everybody. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a good fisherman, but not a perfect fisherman, apparently. I dropped her really good to eat fish back in the water by mistake.
Mistakes happen.
If it was intentionally, then it would have been funny.
Oh. I don't know about that. Funny to you, maybe.
Well, you don't know how good it tasted yet. It's gonna be worse after you eat one of those. Now, I don't like it grabbing so little screen. Good thing we're putting a board over it, but that's not particularly good. I'm even stapling at an angle, so these long staples are out of staples. Almost done. I think I said in a previous video that I used to hand nail everything with U-nails.
Mm-hmm. You told me about that the other day too.
That's how my other enclosures were built.
Mm-hmm. You
And
know,
I believe Kenan said, man, I think he borrowed one from somebody. You need to get a battery-powered staple gun. Nah, I'm fine. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. And then I looked into it. Yeah, maybe I need to get one. I don't know what I would do without it now.
You know, you mentioned earlier that some days we're just like, man, we're out of energy. But we do outside stuff almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
And go to the gym 4 days a week.
I'm tired. But I'm smiling because we are getting there. We really are getting there, guys. I know it's not the most exciting video, hanging screen, but that is a major step. Pouring this wall last week was a major step, and now that's another major step. We don't have a lot more spare screen. We don't have any more 4-foot screen. So to finish any enclosures in here, we've got to order screen again. And I don't want to have a bunch of leftover. You know what? Now we're gonna build those iguana enclosures separate. So maybe a little leftover wouldn't be bad. Yeah. Because I think I've been ordering the 4-foot and 50-foot rolls. So, and it's just a little over 12 feet. I think these runs are 144.5 and the end run is 148 because the interior ones are going on top of these 2x4s. So I think that's it for this one, guys. We've got to finish up another video and I still have to dig up eggs. So I'm gonna go grab some buckets, muster up enough energy. You know what? I might actually have a beer to celebrate this wall and then go dig up those eggs. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, guys, until next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.